NHL Picks, baby! NHL Picks! Following popular demand, and after receiving many email messages, I am finally ready to provide you with some free NHL picks. I have worked pretty hard over the past few weeks and months, but it was well worth it. I've developed 10 betting systems, 10 winning betting systems on the NHL. All of the systems are based on 9 years of data. I've already released all of the details of one of those betting strategies called the scoring drought. I strongly encourage you to go check out this video because you'll get a better grasp of how I come up with those betting angles. Each betting strategy all starts with an intuition that I then verify empirically. For example, let's talk about the scoring drought betting angle. My thinking was that if a team has scored many goals recently, the betting public is going to notice it, and they are likely to bet on that team. That's going to inflate the line on their opponents artificially, and it's going to create a bargain for us, contrarians. If you've been following me a little bit, you know that I love the contrarian approach, which means going against the grain. So in the case of the scoring drought betting system, it turned out to be true based on my 9 years of data. So for example, let's say you have a team that has scored 5, 4, and 7 goals in its past 3 games respectively. Well, I would tend to bet against that team. And that's what the data suggests also. So you should probably check out the scoring drought betting angle video for the specific criteria for betting. You may be wondering, well, how often are you going to post videos presenting NHL picks? Well, I'm not going to make any promises. Let's just say I'm going to do it as often as I can. Now let me explain to you something pretty important. All of my picks are going to be graded out of 5 stars. A pick rated 1 or 2 stars is going to mean that it's based on exactly one betting system. Whether I grade it 1 or 2 stars is going to depend on how much I trust the system in question. Because I'll be honest with you, there are some betting angles that I like more than others for many reasons. Now the picks graded 3 or 4 stars are going to mean that they're based on exactly 2 betting systems. And again, the 3 or 4 star rating is going to depend on whether I trust the systems in questions more or less. And finally, a pick rated 5 stars means it is backed by at least 3 betting systems at a time. Now, one thing I can tell you is that most of the picks will be rated 2 stars. That's the most common occurrence. Alright, so let's get started. Today, November 1st, there is a slate of 8 games in the NHL. And my betting systems recommend betting 5 of them. So we are off to a strong start. Let me unveil all of those 5 picks to you right now. Alright, so are you ready to rumble? Okay, so as I mentioned previously, I've got 5 picks for you. Let's start with a pick rated 1 star, which means it's based on exactly one betting system, and it's not necessarily a system that I like a lot. The pick goes to the Dallas Stars at plus 122 odds, which is the same as 2.22 if you are more familiar with the decimal format, at the Colorado Avalanche. By the way, all of the odds that I'm going to state in this video were taken from the Pinnacle Sportsbook at around 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Alright, now I've got 3 picks rated 2 stars, which means they are based on one system, but it's a betting angle that I like quite a bit. First, we've got the Philadelphia Flyers at plus 108 at the New Jersey Devils. I also like the Columbus Blue Jackets at plus 145 at the Blues. And finally, we've got the Anaheim Ducks, slightly favorites at minus 108 odds against the Canucks. By the way, I'd like to mention that you will, if you follow my series of NHL picks, you will quickly realize that we bet underdogs most of the time. Okay, and that's fine, because generally speaking, you are better off betting underdogs than favorites. Okay, if you look at the data over the past 10-20 years, the underdogs did better than the favorites. Simply because the square bettors, which means those that are not so smart, are more comfortable betting favorites. And those are the people that lose the most money, by the way. Now, our last pick of the day, rated 4 stars, which means it's based on 2 betting systems, both that I like a lot. It goes to the Tampa Bay Lightning at minus 113 odds at the New York Islanders. Now, this play is based on the following betting strategies. One of them is called the stingy goalies, and the other is called the hot teams matchup. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the latter. The one called the hot teams matchup. Well, after doing a lot of research in my 9-year dataset, here's what I came up with. You should bet a road team coming off exactly 1 or 2 straight wins when facing a home team that's coming off a winning streak of length of at least 3 games. For example, you may want to bet a road team that has won its past 2 games when facing a home team coming off a 6-game winning streak. Alright, so in my 9-year data set, if you had placed $1 bets every time this situation occurred, you would have made a nice profit of about $67. Now let's say your average bet is $100. Well, that means using this strategy over a 9-year span would have earned you about $6,700. Very nice. Now during that time span, you would have placed close to 500 bets, and the return on investment, which can be obtained by dividing the profit by the number of bets, is equal to close to 14%, which is pretty nice. Now let me show you that it does apply to tonight's game between Tampa and New York Islanders. Well, as you can see here on ESPN.com, the Lightning has won 1 game in a row, and they are facing the Islanders that are riding a nice 7-game winning streak. And again, the rationale behind this betting angle is to go against the grain. In this case, most people will be like, oh my god, the Islanders have won their past 7 games, I'm going to bet on them. And it's going to artificially inflate the line on the Lightning. And that's why we are betting Tampa Bay in this game. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this very first video in my NHL Picks series. As I said, I'm going to post many more in the future, so I invite you strongly to subscribe to my channel so that you know every time I release a new video presenting some NHL picks for you. Alright, so I'm Professor MJ, a Statistics University professor. It was good talking to you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you very soon.